He's been called a political savant and the voice of his generation. Real, raw, with the subtleness of a sledgehammer, he pounds out the truth one issue at a time. The Josh Bernstein Show starts where the rest of the media ends. And now, here's the mainstream media's worst nightmare, Josh Bernstein.
Welcome to another hard-hitting edition of the Josh Bernstein Show. The Josh Bernstein Show starts where the rest of the media ends. On today's program, we're going to talk about what happened in the UK to Tommy Robinson. This should make everybody who believes in freedom of speech absolutely chilled to the bone scared. We'll break that down here in just a minute. And then, is it Netflix or is it Obamaflix? We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about the Obamas and how they have come aboard to do creative content for Netflix. And as a member of the media, I have a sneak preview of upcoming shows that will be produced, directed, and written by the Obamas. You don't want to miss that segment. And then, as if it worked against Bernie Sanders in the 2016 primaries and election, the DCCC and the Democrats are up to no good again, trying to rig primaries. We'll break down that story as well. And then, you're not going to believe this one. Just when you thought the FBI couldn't get any lower with the Mueller witch hunt, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait until I tell you this story involving convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein and the FBI. This one's going to blow you away. Now, for the first segment, I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm going to use a lot of British slang and British terms on purpose because I want the folks involved in the British government to not only see this, but to understand the anger and frustration and venom that here in America we have to what happened there. Let me break this down. So, what we have is a situation in which Tommy Robinson has been arrested. Now, for the folks that don't know who Tommy Robinson is, he is a conservative activist, anti-Islam activist, who wants to save the UK from itself, to be quite honest. So, I don't care right now about President Trump's supposed upcoming summit that is on again, off again, and now it seems back on again. Nor do I care about the lying, corrupt FBI and Department of Justice and the Mueller witch hunt either. What I care about is what just happened in the UK to Tommy Robinson, okay? Because if, God forbid, the Democrats take over Congress in 2018, the United States of America could resemble the UK, London, and Europe in very short order. Because there are many people in this country that do not believe in freedom of speech, and they do not believe in other people's opposition opinions being able to be heard. We have our own issues with Silicon Valley. We have our own issues with Facebook and Twitter. And yes, it looks as though maybe, just maybe, President Trump has woken up to that fact, maybe because it's affected him personally and his own reach, and something needs to be done. But that's a story for another day. Conservative activist, again, Tommy Robinson, the, I guess, Pamela Geller type figure, if you will, of England, was arrested for reporting on a trial of Muslim pedophiles. That's all he did. He didn't do anything provocative. He didn't say anything. He didn't cause a ruckus. He didn't cause a disturbance. All he did was do his job as an investigative journalist and report on what was happening with the court case in the Leeds courthouse with these Muslim child traffickers. He was doing a Facebook Live event, and after about an hour of that event, he then decided to continue, and apparently the English officials did not like that, and they sent a squad of about 5 or 6 people to arrest him. Now, he was arrested months ago, I think about a year ago, for contempt of court, and was sentenced to 3 months, and then it was suspended by a certain judge. So now what they've done is they've trumped up these charges, and they arrested him for, quote, disturbing the peace. He didn't do anything wrong, like I said, and they arrested him for disturbing the peace. He wasn't creating violence. He wasn't advocating violence. He wasn't doing anything of that nature. But because of the fact that he was covering this story, the Islamist apologists in the UK decided that his voice was not needed, and so they silenced him. They arrested him, and here's the worst part. They've already sentenced him to 13 months in prison, which by any stretch, if you know Tommy Robinson and his work, more than likely, unfortunately, is a death sentence, because he's going to be in jail, and as a matter of fact, right now they're not even saying where he is being located, but he's going to be in jail with other people, many of which will be Islamic fanatics. So we've got to get him out as soon as possible. And so the limey wankers who love and celebrate the takeover of their own country and protect evil and side with the enemy are to blame here. The wankers and pikers and bobbies of England are the ones that have been taking the marching orders from a judge, and this judge, this daft, manky, limey, pikey judge, is named Injustice Jeffrey Marson. Here's an image of him right there. This limey wanker that gave Tommy what, again, could essentially be a death sentence is the one who not only sentenced him to 13 months, but unbelievably, astoundingly, decided to do a gag order of all media in England, to the point where they're not even allowed to talk about his arrest, or the trial for that matter, until after the trial has completed. Unbelievable. 13 months. No trial, no lawyers, no jury, just a limey, pikey arse of a judge, a pedophile protector, a radical communist Islamic appeaser in Jeffrey Marson. I hope this judge, honestly, burns in hell for what he is doing. And if Tommy Robinson is hurt, injured, or God forbid killed, I hope that many people in England will go after this judge and hold him accountable at the fullest extent of the British law. After Tommy's arrest, large crowds of protesters gathered all over Europe and even in Australia and other European countries like Germany and other places. There is also a petition for the freeing of Tommy. And by the way, the hashtag Free Tommy is being one that is being put out there. So folks, please use that hashtag in everything that you do on all over social media. Make sure that a lot of people know about this. So far, recording this Tuesday afternoon, about 500,000 signatures have been placed on this petition. I'm also going to put the petition in the video, in the comment section. I will pin it so you will easily be able to find it. Please do not just watch this video. Please take action. Please sign the petition. Now, let me say this. To Judge Jeffrey Marson, here in America, we don't believe in gag orders. And in America, we have freedom of speech, at least so far. And I will say this, Silicon Valley and the hard left has done everything they can to silence people like me that speak out against injustices. And so far, we've been able to continue to have a voice, although on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, we are being silenced each and every day, which is a horrible development. But we still have a First Amendment right to freedom of speech. And although those on the left in Silicon Valley and elsewhere are doing their best to try to silence people like me, I still have a voice, and the American media still has a voice, and the American media is certainly not part of your stupid, wanky gag order. So I want you to know, Jeffrey Marson, I hope you get a chance to see this video. You can take your communist gag order and you can shove it where the sun don't shine, because I and many others will continue to report and expose wankers like you. This is why, folks, we must keep control of Congress in 2018. There are many wankers in America that feel and act just like this limey, doffed, manky judge in Jeffrey Marson. And that's why we have to understand we cannot sit back. We cannot be complacent. We have got to go out there. We have got to vote. And we have got to vote Republican straight ticket all the way down to dog catcher. We cannot vote for a Democrat. There's no such thing in the year 2018 as a moderate or centrist Democrat. They just don't exist. They're like purple unicorns, folks. They don't exist. So that's why it is so vitally important. I know you hear that all the time. Every election is the most important one of our lifetimes. This one is certainly up there with all the rest because, as I've said many times, and you can go back and look at the shows, if we lose Congress, they're going to do whatever they can to try to impeach this president. They're going to try to unravel all the successes that he has been able to accomplish in the first year and a half to 2 years. And if we're not careful, by 2020 or sooner, the United States could look like the UK. And that should motivate everyone to go out there and exercise their right to vote, to make sure that these Democrats do not get anywhere near the levers of control. We'll be right back.